making sense of Genesis 1 and 2, having a circumcised foreskin, becoming one of the Nephida, those who hold justice in their heart, who the Lord speaks to in their heart and teaches things personally. The key factor to that is having a personal relationship. So, here's what I think. I'm not saying it's true. I'm throwing it out there. It's a hypothesis. Genesis 1 represents Abel, the slave. He's able-bodied. That's what you call it. And Genesis 2 represents Cain. Cain rose up against his brother and killed in the field and killed him with a rock. He rose up, he declared himself a god. Enki was his name. So you have the house of sweet water where they stole the vapor first of all. I think it's a proverbial fountain of youth in Mesopotamia, in Enki city, in Uru, Iraq. So basically what you're looking at a story of two creations. A race of men that were created before the race of Adam. So you had like Genesis 1. The story in Genesis 1 is different than the stories in Genesis 2, except both are creations of God. Now, if you listen to the story of Enki, it matches to a certain extent the story of Cain and Gilgamesh. People are saying that Gilgamesh is not Nimrod, and that Nimrod came a few generations after Gilgamesh. The only reason they're saying that and the story doesn't fit is because they're not willing to accept, or they already know, and they're just trying to deceive you, that Gilgamesh lived for a long time, and lots of people in the past lived for a long time. If you were to go and read Irish writings in Old Ogham, that's Old Irish Hebrew language, one guy would be writing about something that happened 500 years ago or something, 300 or 400 years ago, and he'd say, yeah, when I witnessed this happening. So people that were around at the time of Jesus who wrote the Bible, they probably lived for a couple of 100 years. That's why the Bible was written 100 years later, from first-hand accounts. In the Old Testament, when you read about the Macedonians, a man appeared to him in the likeness of a Macedonian. Something about Macedonians in the New Testament says they don't look similar to the rest of us. It suggests that. But to get back to the point, we go to Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is Cain, yeah? Cain was going to die, and he knew he was going to die at 500 years. A woman told him this. So he went to see a woman, and she told him. And after that conversation with the woman, Gilgamesh proceeded to travel around the world on the vine of Shipma and spread heathen religions and build temples to suck the vapor out of man. So he killed his brother with a rock. The first city was an agricultural land, and that was where Enki declared himself a god. And the house of the source of the sweet water, the house of the sweet water, your vapor, what this man but a little vapor that passeth away in time. So basically what you have is you have Gilgamesh. He goes to see this woman. She tells him he's going to die. Gilgamesh claims to be the third man. How you doing, alright? Aye. So I just had someone come down there and start harassing me. Fucking fraggles. So now I mean, you come down to the woods and this fucking prick coming down and start interrogating me like a cobber. Anyhow, what was I? Yeah, the house of sweet water. So here you go. Lilith, she was the one who was first in trouble in the Bible. So Enki's house, prior to Enki being worshipped there, in the house of sweet water, the source of sweet water, the source of vapor, the fountain, I think it's the fountain of youth where the gods first started to milk the juice of the earth and kill the planet and turn it and start making deserts and stuff like that. And you shriveling up with the curse. In Enki's house before that, they worshipped a goddess. An earth goddess or something like that. So there's a goddess mentioned throughout history since that time, and she's Lilith. Lilith kills babies. Lilith is the cause of sudden infant cot death. She's if you go into the Bible and read about Moab, just Google Moab, continual weeping for the going up of Lilith, the little ones, something along them lines. So basically